Does it frustrate you that despite your best efforts, you can't seem to stay on track with your weight loss, regardless of what you seem to do? You plan the meals out, you plan to go to the gymnasium, you have a very clear idea of how you want to look and feel, yet somehow you find yourself sabotaging yourself. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that I share with my clients that have helped them go on to lose anywhere from 20 pounds to over 50 pounds and keep it off successfully. Let's dive into what those 3 things are right now. So the first thing then is the weight loss calendar. Now you may be asking, what's the weight loss calendar? Well, the weight loss calendar is, for example, Christmas, Easter, holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, any significant event that comes up on your calendar where there's a change in circumstances or there's a gathering of people and food is central to that. That's what I call the weight loss calendar. And here's what tends to happen for a lot of people. When they're on a weight loss program, one of these events comes up, they overindulge in the food, and that can derail them for days, weeks, even months sometimes. So how do we get around not allowing the weight loss calendar to derail us? Well, very simply, what I say to my clients is begin by mapping it out over a period of time so you can see what's coming up, and then come up with some strategies to get yourself through that period of time in the most effective way possible. Not in a perfect way, because if you set yourself up for perfection during those phases, chances are you're going to fail and you're going to feel even worse because you have failed. But my approach is to do a little bit better than what you would have previously done. So let's take, for example, Christmas. I had one client, she typically goes away to the Caribbean for a couple of weeks at a time, and in the past she's gained up to 10 pounds while she's been away. So this time she went away, we said, okay, fine, look, this is what you'd normally gain, 10 pounds. So if we can do any better than that, is that going to be a success? And we both agreed, yes, it would be. So we took a look at what she would typically do in terms of her eating, her drinking, and made a few modifications, and she came back. I think she gained about maybe 3, possibly 4 pounds over that period of time. Now, had we have not put that plan in place, had we have not had that foresight and come up with this strategy, she could have quite easily have put on that 10 or more pounds and totally derailed herself. And this applies to all the other calendar events I've just mentioned. If you don't have some sort of a plan ahead of time, they will derail you and cause you to fail when it comes to your weight loss. So that's number 1, dealing with the weight loss calendar. The second thing that can derail you when it comes to weight loss are what I call life events. And I split these into 3 categories, level 1, 2 and 3. So level 1 is, for example, you're driving to work, somebody cuts you up, you get annoyed, you're pulling for some petrol, you're still annoyed, and you find yourself grabbing for a packet of crisps, a bar of chocolate, or something that you know is on the kind of naughty list, just to try and calm your nerves down and get over the frustration of somebody cutting you up. So that's like a level 1. And there are lots of other events that are similar to that. A level 2 event might be something more significant. For example, you get into work, you have a bit of a bust up with your boss, or you've lost a contract, something of that nature. And a level 3 event is significantly more different. A level 3 event would be something like, serious illness, divorce maybe, and I guess the worst thing possible would be death of a friend, a spouse, a colleague, or something of that nature. So those are the life events that can happen. Now, here's the problem that people have with life events. A level 1 event, I spoke about somebody cutting you up and then responding by eating something just to sort of calm your nerves down a little bit. A lot of people are dealing with level 1 events as if they are level 2 events, which means if a level 2 event happens, they're completely off the scales, and heaven forbid, should a level 3 event happen, there's absolutely no way back for them. So what I would recommend my clients would do is let's identify what those typical level 1 events are, because they can happen pretty much every single day. Let's recognize what they are. Let's see what your actions are in terms of, what are you reaching for in terms of food or drink that's derailing you, and can we come up with an alternative to that? So that's number 1. And then we identify the level 2 events. If we can identify them, if we can, predict that something may happen, we can start to think about how we might respond to that and try and come up with some alternatives. Now, it's worth saying at this point, just because you've identified something and you know how it makes you feel and what you've done in the past, does it mean you're going to 100% not reach for the cookies or the chocolate or the alcohol? Absolutely not. There still may be occasions where you still reach for those things, but at least if you are aware of how you respond to these events, you have an opportunity to pause, think, and take a different decision. And the more often you can take the better decisions, the less likely it is you are going to be derailed and knocked off course with your weight loss. And a level 3 event, well, it's hard to predict that, because until that happens, you don't really know how you're going to perform. But I can tell you, I've had clients who have gone through some pretty significant level 3 events, including death of parents, being diagnosed with cancer, losing their businesses, and still somehow they've been able to continue on the weight loss journey, even with a level 3. But that's number 2. Life events derailing you is a classic for taking people off course when it comes to their weight loss efforts. Okay, before I share the third thing that can typically derail you when it comes to weight loss, I just want to make you aware of my free Boost weight loss assessment that you can do online. There's a link below this video. Click on that, it'll take you to a page, answer a few simple questions, take you less than 3 minutes, and you'll get back a personalized report that will help you kickstart your mindset, your diet, and your exercise. So you can do that at the end of this video. Okay, so what's the third thing that derails people when it comes to losing weight? Well, the third thing is probably the most common one and arguably the strongest one, and that's your own self-doubt. When you start to ask yourself questions like, can I really do this? You know, maybe you've had a day where you've not eaten particularly well, or maybe you've had a week where you've not done particularly well, and you just start to ask that nagging question, you know, can I really do this? Am I too old? Have I got enough time? Am I put myself under too much pressure? All of these thoughts and these conversations can go around in your head, because I know that because I've worked with enough clients and they've told me that's the sort of thinking that they have. So how do we deal with this sort of negative self-doubt? Well, what I say to my clients is, let's just say they're into week 5 or 6 of the program. Maybe they've lost at that point 6, 7, 8, 10 pounds, and they have a shaky week. So I will say, okay, fine, you've had a bit of a shaky week. Let's just ask a few simple questions. Prior to this, had you been eating well? Yes, I had. How do we know that? Well, because I've lost 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds. Have you been doing a good amount of exercise? Yeah, I've been walking kind of like 3,000, 5,000 steps a day, maybe a bit more on the weekend. Okay, great. Is it possible for you to get back on that tomorrow? Now, key thing here is, I'm not saying get back on that and just see it out forever and a day, because remember, somebody may have had a bit of a wobble. I'm saying, can you get back on it tomorrow? Because if you get back on it tomorrow, having done it for 5 weeks previous to that, then you start to get the momentum moving in the right direction again. And that's what we're after, is a shift in momentum, a shift in direction, and just getting you back on that track gently without overwhelming yourself, without saying, I'm going to have a perfect 7 days or a fantastic 7 days. It's just about quite literally the next day. One of my clients, I remember saying to me, Sue, when she would have the odd wobble, she would say things like, look, Eric, I just need to take it 1 day at a time. And she did that. And Sue went on and lost over 5 stone in weight just by using that approach. Now, I've covered a lot of things in this video series. I've covered a few things in this particular video. And you may be wondering now, how do you bring all this stuff together to make it a comprehensive and a holistic approach to weight loss? Well, the video on screen right now is where I share how I bring everything together for my clients so that they can create something that is both holistic, personalized, and realistic to stick to help them get their weight loss goals, improve their fitness, and look and feel the way they want. So if that video is on screen now, click on that. If it's not on screen, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when I release that video.